Welcome back everybody. So in today's video I will be showing you how to create Ubuntu virtual machine on AWS using EC2 service. I will also be showing you how you can connect to your VM instance from your local environment using SSH. So let's get to it. Okay, so to create a virtual machine in AWS environment, the first thing that you need to do is to log into your AWS account. And as you can see right here, I'm logged into my account. If you do not have an account with AWS, please go ahead and sign up for one. You can just type right here AWS sign up, and you will see this page right here where it says sign up for free AWS account. Just open this and you will see this button here says create free account. So AWS provides you with a free credit for I believe almost 1 year, so you can use the environment without getting charged for 1 year. So again, if you don't have an account, just go ahead and hit create here. If I click this one, it's going to log me in because I'm already logged in. So I will not see the sign up steps, but for your case you will probably see a template where you need to enter your name, your email address, maybe some bank information and all of that. So please do go ahead and do that. And once you are done with the sign up, you can log in, and now you can come to this page right here. Okay, so once you are logged in, you will most likely see something like this. And as you can see here, this is console home, and it provides you by default with the services that you have recently used. So you can see these are the services that I've recently used, and among these we have EC2. So EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, and is a service that AWS provides you to create your virtual machines. So this is the service that we'll be using today to create our Ubuntu VM instance. If you do not see EC2 in your console home, you can go to this navigation menu right here and click all services. So if you do that, you will see a list of services ordered by category. And as you can see on top right here, we have compute and we have EC2. So you can just go ahead and open this one, and you can open it in a new tab or just click to it and it will bring you to the EC2 dashboard. Okay, so this is the EC2 dashboard, and this is where we can now go ahead and create our virtual machine. So to launch an instance, you can just go ahead and click here where it says launch instance, and this will now bring you to this section here where you can enter your information for your virtual machine. So the first thing that we need to do right here is to enter the name for our VM instance, and I'm going to call this one Ubuntu VM. Okay, because we are going to create Ubuntu virtual machine in this video. Okay, so this is the name, and on this section right here we need to enter the image. So we need to select the Ubuntu image right here. So we have a quick start here, so we have a number of menus here. So you can see we have quick start, and in quick start we have Ubuntu. So you can just select Ubuntu right here and scroll down. Now if you don't see Ubuntu on this section here, then you can go to browse AMIs, and also right here you will see a list of services that you can choose. So you can see we have on top right here we have AWS provided VMs, and we have Mac, we have Red Hat, and all of these other ones. So you can check, you can browse and just select Ubuntu from here. So you can see actually in this list that we have Ubuntu 24.4.04, which is I believe the latest version for Ubuntu Server in AWS. We also have previous versions of Ubuntu like 22.04 and this other one also that you can choose for SQL Server. So you can just go ahead and select from there, but again I'm just going to go back and I will show you just from the dashboard how you can do that. Okay, so again this one we are just going to name this Ubuntu VM, and I'm going to use the quick start one. So I'm going to click the quick start and select Ubuntu from the list here, and here you see it tells you that the actually it pre-selects for you the most recent image for Ubuntu, and as you can see on the list here we have Ubuntu 24.04, and it also tells you here that this one is free tier eligible, which basically means that you can create a virtual machine for Ubuntu server in AWS and run it without having to pay, but it has some limits. So we will actually go with this option. I'm just going to click this, and when we scroll down you will see the architecture right here, and this one by default is 64-bit x86, you can choose that. If you have a machine that runs on ARM or ARM, you can select that. So for me, I'm just going to go with this. That's fine with me. Okay. And so right here now is the instance type, and this is important section if you want to run free tier or without free tier. So you can see, if you click right here, the options that you have here, I think T2 micro comes with free tier eligible. So if I don't think there's any other option here that lets you run on free tier, let's select this. Yeah, it doesn't. So you can see the only instance type here that lets you run on free tier is this one for T2 micro, and it comes with one virtual CPU and 1 GB of memory. Okay, so I'm okay with that. This is a demo. I'm just doing this video for demo purposes, so I'm just okay with this free tier. But if you want to create a larger machine, you can just go ahead and select the type of machine that you want. So if you scroll down, you'll see that we have one here, for example, for 8 virtual CPUs, 32 GB for memory, and you scroll down, you'll see some other instance types. So you can select whichever size you want depending on your use case. But in this case, I'm just going to go with the free tier. Okay. And so when you scroll down here, you will see key pair. So we need a key pair for our virtual machine so that we can be able to connect from our local environment. So if you want to connect from your laptop, either through the terminal or a command line or through a third-party tool like Putty, if you're on Windows, then you do need to have a key pair. So this is a key pair that will let you to securely connect to your instance. So we do need to create one. Now, if you have previously created a key pair, you can go ahead and use it. But you can also see here it has an option for creating the virtual machine without the key pair, which is not recommended, because if somebody has your IP address or the host name for your virtual machine, then they can easily connect to the environment without your consent. So you don't want to do this. So we'll just go ahead and create a key pair for this. So I'm just going to hit here where it says create key pair, and this window pops up right here. We just need to enter the name for the key pair. I'm just going to call this one Ubuntu key pair. Yeah, let's say just say Ubuntu key pair, like that. Okay, so by default it selects RSA, so I'm okay with that. So there are two options here for the format. If you are going to connect to this virtual machine through terminal, for example, if you're in Mac, then you want to choose the first option here. If you're in Windows, then you can choose the second one and just go ahead and put this information on Windows. So for me, I'm using Mac environment, so I'm just going to go ahead with the first option here. And when we connect, I'll show you how to use this file to actually SSH to your virtual machine. So I'm on Mac, so I'm just going to choose this first option, and then we'll just go ahead and hit create key pair. So okay, so that's going to create a key pair, and by default it's going to download it to your downloads. So you can see this is my downloads, and the file will be there. Okay, so we'll be using it once we are ready to do that. Okay, so that's our key pair, and we have it created now. And then now we scroll down here, you see now here we have create security group. So we need security group so that we can allow traffic to the virtual machine. So this security group is basically a firewall, and it protects your environment from unwanted traffic, right? So here you see it says here allow SSH traffic, and it selects this one from anywhere. I am not going to let this one be the case, because this basically means that anyone from the internet can access your instance. So if they have the IP address, then they can basically connect to your virtual machine, and you don't want to do that, because they can hack your environment, they can use the data, they can access the data, and they can cause unwanted behaviors in your machine. So we don't want to do this. I'm going to choose my IP for this. So basically what this means is all the traffic that will be going to this virtual machine will be coming from my local laptop. No other machine will be allowed to access this virtual machine. Now if you have like some other machines that you want to connect to this environment and you want to whitelist, then you can go with custom, and you can I believe put the IP addresses for this. So you can you can do it from here itself, but also you can select a security group. If there's a security group that you've been using, you can use existing one and just go ahead and create a VM machine. So again, for this one, I'm going to use my IP, and it's going to create a security group called Launch Wizard. We do not have a security group by that name right now, and by default it's going to open port 22 for this. Okay, so it's going to open port 22 for SSH traffic. So we will see, I'll show you once we create this how the configuration for the security group will be looking like. Okay, so so this is the only thing I'm going to check here. I'm not going to check the rest of this, but if you have web servers that you want to run on this environment, you can check these options. So I'm not going to do that. We go down here, you will see here the storage space for this one by default is 8, so I'm okay with that for the root volume, and I believe that's it. So for the advanced section, I'm not going to select anything from here, but you can just see that you have some more options here if you want. I believe the most used one here is this one for the user data. So if you have a script that you want to run when your machine is putting up, you can put the scripts right here. I'll leave this one empty, and then that's it. So the next thing then that you need to do is just hit launch instance. Okay, so this is going to create your virtual machine, and you can see right here it says successfully initiated launch of instance. Okay, so you can now click or open, you can just click this or just open it in a new tab, which I will do. And right here now you will see your instance right here, your Ubuntu instance. So this is the name and this is the instance ID. So you will see the instance state is running, but it's not fully functional until when all the checks are ready. Okay, so this will take a few minutes to finish initializing. So while it's doing that, you can actually inspect your machine. So if you click this instance ID, you will see more information about this machine. So you can see that this is your instance ID, and this is your host name right here, which is the internal IP address. You can also see external IP address. I think this is the most important one if you are connecting externally from this environment. So this is a public IP address. So if you want to connect locally, you can use this IP address, the public IP address. It's also the same thing if you want to give the IP address to someone else. So this is the public facing IP address. So if you are working as a team and you want to use this virtual machine, you can you can give your team this public IP address and they will use it to connect to your environment. Okay. The other one that you can also use is the public IP4 DNS. So this is another one that is also popularly used to connect to environment. And I believe when we do our SSH, this is the one that we'll be using. So this one is the public IP4 DNS. And as you can see, it has the IP address also in it. So you can see the address here is written 54.173.68.149, which is the same IP4 address listed right here. Okay, so this is the IP address. You can see the VPC ID it's using, the subnet ID. I think when you scroll down here also, you should be able to see the security group it's using. So if you go to security, I think, yes, this is a security group that was created. And as you can see, it's called Launch Wizard, and that is the security ID right there. If you open this in a new tab, you will see now that because we created this security group while we were creating our VM instance, you will see that it creates this inbound rule for you by default. And by default, it's pointing to my source IP address. The source IP address here that's listed is from my local machine, and you see the port is 22, which is the SSH port, and the type here is SSH. So what this means is when we now go ahead and connect from our local environment, we should be able to successfully connect to this machine. Now, one thing that you will see here when we do our connection is, if you don't have this inbound rule here created for you, then when you try to connect to your machine, it's not going to work. So you might face some timeout issues when you actually try to SSH. And it's the same thing if you're using PuTTY or PuTTY in Windows. If this inbound rule is not created, it's not going to work. So this is very important if you want to SSH to environment. And again, right here I have the source defined as coming from my local machine. Now, if you want to create a inbound rule right here, all you have to do is just go here to say edit inbound rules, and you can click here add rule, and you see a lot of a number of options here. So I believe initially when I started my experiments with AWS, I was just doing all TCP, and this basically means all traffic will be like all the ports will be open. And if you want here, you can just do this is anywhere, like the one I was telling you, right, was IP4 anywhere, was it? Yes, IP4 anywhere. This one, if you just anywhere IP4, if you choose this, you will, and just click save, you should be able to connect to this environment, because anything that means that anyone can connect to it. So if you're facing issues with the first option here, then if you're doing this just for testing purposes, you can just open all the ports and save it, and of course don't forget to modify it back after that, okay? Or just delete the security rule altogether. Okay, so I'm not going to save this, so I'm just going to delete this, and I will let the one that was there just stay, okay? All right, so this is important section. So this is our security group, and we have it working properly now. So let's go back to our EC2 instance and see if it is looking good now. So go to instances, and let's just go back here. Okay, so there we go. So you can see now that all the checks are showing as passed. So now the next thing that we need to do from here is to connect to our machine. So to do that, you just need to go, if you go here, just select this machine, and once you do that, you will see this option here where it says connect. So just click connect, and on this section here, you see we have a number of options that you can connect. You can connect this using EC2 instance. We're not going to do that. You also have session manager and SSH. So this SSH option is the one that we'll be using, and we'll switch over to our terminal, and this is the command that we'll be using. So before we actually go ahead and do that, let's switch over to terminal now, and I will open my terminal window right here. And what I will do is I will navigate to my downloads folders, because that's where we have our key pair downloaded to. So I'm just going to go to downloads. So for me, I have it on my downloads. You can put it anywhere for yourself. You can copy it and put it in your working, like your home directory. But for me, I'm just going to run this one within the downloads. So this is the file that I have right here, and you can see the permissions for this currently. I think this one is read write, so you can modify this file. So let's go back now to AWS, and you can see the first thing it's asking you, of course, it's telling you to open an SSH client. So terminal in this case is our SSH client, and then we go back. The second one, locate your primary key file, which we have done. It's in our downloads directory. And then the third step here is run this command if necessary to ensure your key is not publicly viewable. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to copy that, and I will paste it right here and run. Okay, so you can see now our key pair has been modified, and if you check the security configurations for this, you will see now that this is just now a read file. Previously it was read write. Okay, so this is also good, so that nobody can modify this file. Okay, and now we go back to our AWS here. So the next thing we need to do is just connect to your instance using the public DNS, which in this case is right here, and this is what I was showing you. And this is how you do it. So this is how you connect it. Just copy this command. As I said, you put the key file, and the username is Ubuntu at the host name. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it right here. Okay, and just run. So remember, you need to do the SSH for this within or inside the folder where your key pair is. If you do it outside, it's not going to run because it will not be able to locate this file here. So this is a very important file for you to have when you're doing SSH. Okay, so right here it's telling you then if you want to continue. So let's allow this. So I'm just going to click here, yes. And it's going to ask you once only if you're doing this for the first time. So that's my case. So just click yes, and there we go. So you can see now that we have successfully connected to our EC2 instance. You can clear this, and if you see now pwd, so you can see now that you are actually within your EC2 terminal now. So you see this is your home directory, and we do not have any file currently. So you can now start using this, and let's just write a test file to this one. So I'm just going to do echo hello world, and we are going to write this one to a text file, txt. Okay, so you can see now we have one file, and you can check the contents for that file. There we go. Alright guys, so that's how you create Ubuntu virtual machine on AWS using EC2 instance and connect to it from your local environment using SSH. I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please give thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Alright, so I will see you then in the next video. Bye bye.